locked out of my Lilliput monitor. God damn. An on-screen display may be locked. How do I unlock it?
Now turning PSP, welcome to the field of North Texas Starlets. This team, which consists of teams of ages 4 to 14, is coached by famed visual gardener out of the Dance Project in Northward. Let's give them a big round of applause and perform their routine to Starlet Party.
No. On the scan, is it pixel to pixel on scan? What is that under? Third menu down. FN. Top aspect. Full. Scan aspect full.
Give me a beat, and I'll be breaking down from your feet.
Aspect, and then aspect full. But shouldn't it be 16 by 9? Under scan, function, menu, scan, aspect, and then under aspect you go 16 by 9. There's a million of them. There's like Ben Hurd's fucking aspect ratio, all kinds of shit. But we are 16 by 9, right? Hey, my shit's back. Well, I'd say my shit's back. Let's see if it's actually back. Nope, it's not back. I can access the menu, but whatever I change doesn't do anything. Okay, under marker, that's the second menu down. I've got center marker on, aspect marker 16 by 9, safety marker 95. None of these are actually on my screen, but I'm trying. Tent 60. Oh fuck, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Oh, this is the one where I can scroll past it. On your user, on your aspect mat, what is that? Off? Aspect mat, it's underneath. Really? Seven. I don't understand how I was looking at the fucking marker and then it went away. And now no matter what I do, I can't get any markers back. I can't get my center cross back. I can't get false color back. It's just fucking gone. I unplugged it and plugged it back in, and now I've got the craziest shit you've ever seen. What the fuck just happened? Well, I think I got no choice but to fucking reset it again. Let's do a 5th reset, shall we? Talking to us. Program audio is going to be louder than everything, huh?
That's not program, that's Scooter's headset.
Oh. trying to dial in a custom box for my score bug, and it's just fucking impossible. I got it to work at one point, but oh, it goes to toad. User marker horizontal 1 and 2, user marker vertical 1 and 2. I was trying to just scroll it up and down to get it to work, but I can't figure out how. User under center marking
is angled out for an Orange County throw. Bryce Jamison, the Atlanta native, recently signed by Colorado Rapids to a 3-year deal, promptly loaned right back to Orange County SC. They're very high on him and the future he has as a soccer player. A look at the injury report brought to you by UCSF Health. Just one injury listed across both of these sides, so both teams very healthy in match day 7. Out for another throw for Oakland. We talked so much early on in our broadcast open, Marion, about consistency being a theme for both of these teams, and when you can be healthy even early in the season, it can set the stage for more consistency later on in the year.
Absolutely, and what people don't often talk about with injuries is the disruption it brings to relationship building. And when you've got, we talked about Julian Bravo and Nabil Hackshaw specifically, right? When you've got a new center back pairing, how do the injuries affect their ability to get on the same page early on in the season? And that's going to have an adverse effect on your results, as we've seen. So both of these teams had some injuries.
Whipped in toward goal, played central, and just flubbed wide of Bryce Jamison. Oakland trying to clear the lines now desperately. And this is that comfortability in possession we see so often for Orange County SC, attacking in waves like they're doing now. Oakland on it in the midfield, couldn't turn that into a counterattack. And now Orange County SC will build out from the back, steered over to Shuttler. But those injuries you were talking about, Marion, that consistency, that's something that came up when we talked to Gavin Glinton. He talked about the growing pains, the radical changes they've tried to make this year, and some of those changes have been hampered by consistency with available bodies. There is Gavin Glinton roaming the touchlines for Oakland Roots. Appointed interim coach last April, made permanent in November of 2024. Lifted up ahead, defender overran the ball, and Shuttler will clear it away. Headed out, Orange County will have a throw. The aforementioned Danny Stone, as we've referenced a handful of times early on. He was tabbed as the interim head coach of this Orange County side in August, went 6-3-2 with the former Orange County assistant. And we have another whistle from Alyssa Nichols that will bring a stoppage to this. Jamison was a little bit slow to move. He's the man hunkered down there being checked out by the training staff. For Gavin Glinton's side, coming off that midweek loss, Marion, in the U.S. Open Cup, they were very, very disappointed with that result. And Gavin Glinton was extremely fired up about it, the way it ended when we talked to him.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, it's coming off such a solid performance against FC Tulsa. Obviously the most positive performance that this Oakland side has had. To not be able to replicate that so soon after, it's a bit of a heartbreaker, especially when Gavin Glinton and his group felt like in the second half they were pushing to score, right? They were pushing for the win, and they felt the performance in the second half was good enough to get that win. But now it's all about response, right? You're not going to be able to go back in time and ultimately you're setting yourself up for 2 consistent, perhaps, performances in the regular season.
Lifted over the top. That will dribble into the hands of Shuttler, who will toss it back out. It was Jamison who had gone off. Training staff were checking the face area after an aerial duel. Jamison does return back to the pitch for Orange County SC. Headed back down and on by Oakland Roots. That will draw another whistle from Alyssa Nichols. Some physicality we've seen early on between these sides, both battling for what each coaching staff views as an all-important win.
And look, these are very old rivals. There is not a lot of love lost between these two. I'm expecting to see a bit of a chippier match, right? And so much of it has to do with what's on the line for both of these sides. And that's really a hard thing to say when you're just 7 matches in, but you mentioned it.
Top of the 18, rolled out wide. This ball whipped in. Trying to hit this off the half volley, and batting that one high is Biruanga, out for a goal kick. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Roots will have another throw in. Oakland coming off that win against FC Tulsa. They have not strung back-to-back wins together in USL Championship play since July 27th through August 10th of last season. Some trouble at the back here, though. Out comes Shuttler, diving for it at first. Open goal, and Oakland on the board. Pulling all the right strings is Wolfgang Prentice, his 3rd goal in 2 matches. 1-0 Oakland.
One of the things that this Oakland Roots side did so well in their match against FC Tulsa is baiting into pockets of pressure. They bait, they bait, they bait. They force a poor turnover in the back from Orange County, and then just the patience of Wolfgang Prentice to have that composure. Not only does he have to be able to get on the end of it, find it through traffic, but he's got to be able to get it past someone standing right on the goal line, and Wolfgang Prentice is absolutely having a season for himself early on.
The former forward Madison man, Wolfgang Prentice, already 4 goals into the young season. 10 minutes in, and Oakland Roots picking right up where they left off in match day 6 against FC Tulsa. That's the kind of start you're looking for if you're Gavin Glinton. That really sets the tone for this match.
Yeah, because that was mentality and that was IQ paired into one. They did so well to stick with their defensive game plan. They had that perfect triangle of pressure, and Orange County took the bait. A poor turnover that Danny Stone is not going to be happy with at all. Again, a team that likes to be on the ball, a team that prides themselves in their ability to keep possession. Really poor moment in the back right there from Orange County.
Danny Stone said coming into the week that he was very disappointed in the first matchup against Oakland Roots with the way they finished. Felt like they should have kept a clean sheet, maybe could have ended 4-1, but the mental errors he felt like really cost them late in that second half. They still hung on to win 4-2, but early on, some of those same mental errors rearing their ugly head. Roots fans starting to come to life here at the Coliseum. Orange County looking for options going forward. Again, long ball over the top. They were wanting Dogman, and now Dogman will pick the pieces up. Guimaraes Just 17 years old is Pedro Guimaraes, former LAFC Academy man. Trying to give and go back out wide. Miscommunication there between teammates, and a change of possession will occur via the throw in. Booted forward for a clearance, and that will be out for another throw. Roots family, the 2025 Oakland Roots jerseys are here, celebrating our return to the Coliseum and the legacy of Oakland sports. A fresh look, same Oakland spirit. Don't wait, get yours today. Shop now at shop.oaklandrootssc.com. Some slick looking shirts at that. As mentioned, paying homage to the former Oakland Athletics with the green and the yellow. This Oakland community so proud of their sports heritage. A lot of history here inside the Oakland Coliseum. As a whistle sounds from Alyssa Nichols. This gives Orange County SC a free kick in a promising position here. As we see the foul again. There's some of that counter-attacking that, Marion, we've talked about. Staying on the ball, being quick back to it when you lose it. Usman Silla over it now. Silla will curl this back stick. Not a down, but out, and a goal kick.
And that was really the first look at any type of probing attack for Orange County. Everything has been lateral, everything has been backwards so far for them. And one of the things that makes this Orange County team so special is the rotation of their central players in the midfield areas. Kyle Scott, obviously, he's going to stay a bit more at home, but Partida and Silla, they can pop in and out of some really unique pockets of space. The more that they can do that, play on the half turn, get a bit faced up, that's where they're going to find some more of the probing questions, as well as this defensive pressure.
Kendall McIntosh with an errant goal clearance. Oakland, though, able to pick the pieces up, and here come the Roots. You mentioned Partida. He's an interesting piece for this Orange County team. He's been fit for just about 60% of the minutes they've played so far. They need him to be another table setter like a Kyle Scott there in that midfield.
Yeah, because when Partida and when Kyle Scott have the ball at their feet, it really does allow a lot more freedom for Usman Silla in the midfield. And he is a player that can obviously act as a true 10. He can also very much act as a false 9. He's got the speed and the ability to pop on and off the back line.
Here's Oakland looking to roll it through to Prentice. Already has a goal today, but intercepted by Orange County. And there's a foul behind, a hard foul at that. Nico Benalcazar going down.
And if I'm not mistaken, this will be the Oakland center back, Julian Bravo, up here doing the work on top of the 18-yard box. Not too much there, in my opinion. But this will give us a better angle. Maybe clips the instep of his boot.
In real time, looked a lot more forceful than it does when you slow it down as Benalcazar goes down. Benalcazar, one of the new additions for this Orange County SC team, who was not shy in the offseason about bringing new talent in. Benalcazar coming over from the FC Cincinnati organization. Funny enough, I actually had a chance to catch up with his coach earlier this week, his former coach, Tyrone Marshall, and he said, look, we didn't want to lose Nico Benalcazar, but he was destined for a higher level of play than what FC Cincinnati 2 could offer. And Tyrone Marshall admitted, hey, we're missing him right now. He's a pro's pro. He's a real leader. This is a guy that has all the skills at his disposal to be a top player in professional soccer.
And I like him in this Danny Stone system. Again, a team who wants a lot of the ball, a team who is going to have good relationships with their holding midfielders.
Here's Orange County and Usman Silla. Scott will elevate that out wide. Rolled central. Defender steps up, deflected. Ball bouncing around the 18 and booted away again for a clearance. Bit of a bend but don't break mentality so far for Oakland's defense.
And we go back to a player like Benalcazar, right? And what is being asked of him, you see him pushed higher up the field a little bit more. And in this modern game of football, you're asking oftentimes your center backs to be able to start the attack for you. And I think that he can help this Orange County side have a few more probing questions to ask of this Oakland Roots side. Because here is where you start to get some confidence if you're Orange County. Oh, look at the touch. That's absolutely picture perfect. And then just a miscommunication in and around the 18-yard box. Hard to get mad at that if you're a head coach. You got two players absolutely hungry to get in there and get something on the ball. Ultimately, their second phase is what wins them this free kick, and they'll go again.
It was Liam McKinnon who was hovering there at the penalty spot they were trying to work it to. We talked a lot about Liam McKinnon early on in our broadcast open. The game plan very clear. As you mentioned, get him the ball, build him confidence, allow him to unlock what he can bring to Orange County.
And here's where I would start. If I'm Orange County, right, we go back to the idea of balancing athleticism with ability to control tempo and control possession. And you have, as you've just seen, players like Liam McKinnon, like Jamison, who have such a quick burst of speed. It's hard for any back line to deal with. And if I'm Orange County, I would start asking more of the athleticism questions right now than I would controlling the tempo and the pace of the game. That's a good ball.
McKinnon gets in behind, parried away by Kendall McIntosh. But a whistle as the flag comes up. Things starting to open up now for Orange County, and there they are using that long ball.
Exactly, and Oakland has a tendency to drop their lines a bit too deep, right? And it allows for time and space for a player like Kyle Scott to not only be able to see the runs develop, but for him to drop a dime in a perfect area, timing just a bit off. But that's what we're not seeing, right? So you see Kyle Scott on the ball. You see him probing with his center backs. What you're not seeing on the front line for Orange County right now is the movement and the development of their runs while Kyle Scott has the ball. Oakland is going to have to start trying to step numbers up, get a bit more pressure on a player like him, because otherwise he is just going to continue to cause problems.
Danny Stone telling us in the midweek, as there is a turnover though, Oakland trying to counterattack now. And Orange County quick with the recovery. Danny Stone, though, telling us in the midweek that some of that consistency in terms of being on the same page with athleticism, the long balls, those are just some early season struggles. But as the season goes on, he wants to see his team and wants to give them the freedom to evaluate in real time. Do we need a short pass? Should we go long and direct here? How should we play things? Still trying to feel their way through that now, 7 matches into the season. On the edge of the area, rolled back to Benalcazar. This one from distance falls right to McKinnon. The flag will come up again.
And again, just a timing, and that actually took a bit of a deflection. Otherwise, McKinnon might have been on. It was a well-timed run, a well-timed delivery. And I like what Orange County is doing in the build-up. They're just trying to pull enough numbers out of that low block of 5 from Oakland, and they're finding 1v1 situations with players like Liam McKinnon. Can they just get the final execution right? That's the question.
Oakland with a throw deep here toward this final third. Gavin Glinton, one thing that's a theme for his team is this one played through the 18. Pinballing around. Oakland trying to settle it. And now we have another whistle for a foul. But Gavin Glinton has challenged his team to get forward quickly with that possession, get into good areas. And we saw it, they were able to win a throw that set up what was a bit of a dangerous opportunity, fizzling out at the end. Here's Dogman. He'll give it back to Benalcazar. Orange County looking for their first road win of 2025. Just 2 road wins over their last 10 fixtures dating back to the 2024 season. Haven't had much success against Oakland on the road. 5 all-time contests, 3 losses. There's a turnover. Oakland transitioning now. Out of the reach of Prentice, but nudged across the touchline, and that will be out for a throw. The USL on CBS Sports Network continues in April. Hot starting San Antonio FC take on the reigning USL Championship title holder, Colorado Springs Switchback FC, April 23rd at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. A great partnership has developed there between CBS and the USL, and it's so important, especially with Marion, so many eyes on the state of American soccer with the World Cup coming up. More attention around the USL has raised the bar for so many teams, as we've seen 2 teams feeling the heat early on have already made managerial changes.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Results, this is a results-driven business, and you can't look at an old pedigree. You have to look at the now in front of you. And for both of these teams, a positive result is the now that they seek, no doubt about it.
Here comes Oakland Roots, sidestepping a challenge. They'll switch it out wide again. Here's Jorgen Dam. Has support, lays it off. Sinistera at the byline, tries to cut it back, and it's out for Oakland's second corner. That time showing a bit of patience in the build-up, waiting for things to develop. Bit of a different look than what we've seen at times for Oakland today, but they do get their second corner. Some pushing and shoving there inside the 18 will draw a whistle from Alyssa Nichols. Marion, if you're Oakland, how would you play this corner?
I think you allow the athleticism to shine through, an in-swinging ball into traffic, right? Make life difficult for the goalkeeper and see if you can't have one of your targets go up and get it.
Out-swinging ball headed away. Look back on and ahead. It will fall back to Sinistera. Muscled off the ball initially, and that will be a foul. Orange County trying to quickly take that free kick. Instead has to reset it. These outside backs for Orange County SC pushing very high up. Dogman will go for goal. Thought he had Kendall McIntosh off his line, but instead it's a rollout.
And that was a really good look at exactly what Orange County wants to do, but exactly what Oakland is allowing them to do. There are oftentimes, you just saw it, it looks like a 5-4-1 for Oakland in the defense, and they are totally fine with allowing Orange County's outside backs, allowing their center backs, allowing their deep-lying holding midfielders to hang on to the ball and send really tough deliveries into the box. It hasn't hurt them so far, but if you're Orange County, you have to realize the space they're giving you in behind is truly not a lot. It's gonna have to be a pinpoint delivery to get an incoming runner into one of those. And so how can you bait that low block out just a bit more to open up something for yourself?
That goes back to what Danny Stone had talked about in terms of his team needing to recognize more, hey, maybe right now we don't need the long ball over the top. Let's try to connect those short passes, being able to take what the defense is giving you. Liam McKinnon, a dangerous run, able to win a free kick. In an inviting position here for Usman Silla, the former Houston Dynamo man.
He could go for this.
Silla will curl this back post, headed out, and it's a corner won by Orange County.
I think ultimately it's the right decision. Have definitely seen Usman Silla in his college days absolutely bang that one to the near post. And that's the kind of qualities that he has as a player. A bit unpredictable in what he's gonna do when he's over a set piece.
Here he is again, this time from the far corner flag. Former Mac Herman Trophy winner for Mike Noonan at Clemson is Usman Silla. Silla, line drive, defender whiffed on the clearance, but it's headed over the bar and out. Gavin Glinton can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief there on the Oakland touchline. That could have been dangerous, Marion.
Yeah, it looked like a very poor distribution in, and ultimately becomes a dangerous opportunity. Mohamedou War just sitting, waiting, lurking. Gets the short end of a tough challenge.
Up ahead and cleared away by Orange County. We've talked about physicality. We've heard the whistle sound a lot in this first half. These teams just trading the fouls back and forth.
I think that ultimately bodes better for the Oakland Root side. A team that's okay with playing in a bit of chaos, a team that's okay going a bit more Route One. I know that they obviously want to have a few different looks in the attack, but what the game is giving them right now, they're fine with disrupting the rhythm and the flow that Orange County like to build out with.
That's something I thought was so interesting that Gavin Glinton shone some light on with us earlier in the week. Was he said, look, we haven't had much success, so we stripped everything back and we went back to our principles, our fundamentals, focused on suffering together, focused on being gritty, being physical. And we are seeing that grittiness and that physicality show up time and again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you have to be most pleased with the effort and with the mentality change for Oakland against FC Tulsa. There have been moments where there's no doubt that you can see this team's identity, you can see the philosophy and what they want to do, but the mentality hasn't been there to match that. And finally, in their 2-1 victory over FC Tulsa, that's what Gavin Glinton saw, and that's ultimately what he was the most pleased with. Now it's about replication.
Pouncing on a loose ball in the midfield. Here comes Oakland Roots. Against the grain, it's Oakland. Njai lays it off. That cross falls through. On the byline now. Second ball lifted toward goal and headed in. 2-0 Oakland. It's the big off-season acquisition, Peter Wilson. They wanted to find a way to get him going, and Marion, they do.
He's been hungry, he's been determined, and he's just been waiting for this moment. But what I love is the commitment from Jürgen Damm just to get up, just to get involved. He waits, he lets the runs redevelop on the backside. It's not good enough pressure on the ball whatsoever from Orange County. They're too busy guarding space instead of trying to guard the runs in the box, and ultimately Peter Wilson just goes up and gets that one. That's a big boy goal.
23 goals in 43 appearances in Norway for Peter Wilson. He comes into Oakland in the offseason and now gets his first of 2025. 3 goal contributions now on the year for Peter Wilson. How about this start for Oakland?
Absolutely incredible, and a team that has been hungry at home. You're starting to see the players individually become hungry. You're starting to see that pay off into results. But ultimately, this is an Orange County team that can hurt you very quickly and very often. We saw absolute fireworks against these two teams when they met. 6 goals in total. This one, I believe, is far from over, but it's a wonderful first start.
Played a little over a half hour now as Oakland have doubled their advantage. 2 goals from 2 different goal scorers. Marion, we have played that 30-minute mark, eclipsed it now. What stands out to you the most about how Oakland has been able to expose some gaps here in Orange County?
Yeah, well, if we look at what Oakland historically likes to do and the identity that they want to have, it starts and ends with aggression. Not only being willing to be aggressive in breaking lines on the attack, but making life uncomfortable for other teams as they build out. And that's been what they've done to Orange County. They've made life very uncomfortable for the outside backs.
Jamison trying to cut to his right. All over it defensively was Oakland. Worked back onto Silla, though, at the byline. Tries to peel it back. Booted away for a decisive clearance. Sinistera now starts and stops. Muscled down, that will draw a whistle. A bit of a frustration foul for the young Pedro Guimaraes. Join us in style this year with Roots premium seating. From our all-inclusive Club Oak to field boxes or dugout seats, we have great options for any occasion. Secure your tickets now. Visit us at oaklandrootssc.com/tickets or call 5110-488-1144. Both the Oakland Roots and the Oakland Soul, the USLW side that's sponsored by this organization, will call this Oakland Coliseum home for the next 2 years as they continue to construct a new home facility in Oakland. Very loyal fan base for these Oakland Roots, but Marion, you know this, covering also on the women's side of the USL. Oakland Soul, very, very committed fan base as well for a pre-professional soccer team.
I've always said this about this Oakland side. There is a drummer, and one day I am going to meet this drummer, but he never stops. And I actually did the doubleheader for them last year, where it was Oakland Soul home game, Oakland Roots home game, and I promise you, that drummer did not miss a beat, not even in the break. I'm not sure if it was the same guy. I'm not sure if it was, a rotation that was happening, but it was absolutely impressive, and I still obviously hear him loud and clear right now.
Lifted out wide, looking for Guimaraes. And the flag will come up again. Do you think there's a workout you can do at the gym to build up strong enough forearms to drum for 90 straight minutes?
We need to get him on your podcast.
We really do, yes. Shameless plug on your half.
The drummer for Oakland Roots, contact Jake. He's got a podcast he needs to get you on.
Hey, listen, it adds to the atmosphere, right?
Absolutely, I love it. And look, I've actually been lucky enough as one of the members who goes and covers these USL CBS games with Mike and Devin. We actually did the Oakland-Sacramento match in Oakland last year, and it's an atmosphere that no matter what the team is going through, this fan base continues to show up, and it's actually really impressive to see the loyalty, because let's call a spade a spade. It's been a tough start to the 2025 campaign, so you know that for them, this 2-0 lead early on against an in-state rival means a lot.
The win against Tulsa that we've talked about snapped a 7-match winless stretch dating back to last season. Another whistle from Alyssa Nichols. I have to ask you bring up Mike Watts and Devin Kerr. What's up with the coleslaw?
Mike Watts is maybe one of the pickiest human beings I've ever met on several things. And any type of sauce, truly, because I've gone in depth about this, right? Is it just coleslaw? Is it also mayonnaise? What about aiolis, right? Any sauce, my man, absolutely no-go.
I have to agree with him on the mayonnaise as this lifted up ahead toward McIntosh.
Sour cream as well. Don't let me forget sour cream. Hey, for our Open Cup fans that maybe watched that El Farolito game the other night
that they
were on, he actually ate sour cream for like the first time. That burrito
Really?
had sour cream on it. Yeah, and that was,
Wow.
I'm pretty sure, the first time he's ever eaten sour cream, or at least in like 10 years.
I find mayonnaise to be a vile substance.
Okay,
and
vile.
Vile. I think it is one of the worst man-made creations on the face of the earth. So I have to agree with Mike Watts on that one. And it really bothers me that there's a college football bowl game that somebody gets dumped mayonnaise on.
So I'm assuming your podcast is not sponsored by Duke's.
No,
Okay,
no
got it,
offense. I'm
got
sure
it.
there are lovely people that work at Duke's Mayonnaise. Hellman's the same way, but you won't really find me consuming a lot of mayonnaise-based products in the Griffith household. Scylla will get play restarted after a scintillating discussion about mayonnaise. And here is Scylla back on it now, the former Clemson Tiger. Tried to slip that one through. Oakland all over it. One back by Dom. Give and go up ahead to Sinistra. Oakland able to win a corner. Their third of the first half. This corner kick powered by Ava Community Energy. They've already scored off one corner today. Gavin Glinton's bunch has. They short it this time. Njai, his shot. Catches ahead, deflected over, and it's consecutive corners now coming for Oakland. Doing a good job, Marion, of really stacking these set-piece opportunities.
Now it's about getting one, right? Creating them is one thing. Actually being able to convert on them, obviously not in a rush to convert on them with the 2-0 lead, but you've got to be willing to go up and get set pieces in USL Championship.
Crossed in toward goal, and another whistle, which has become a common thread through this first 45 minutes. Up to 13 combined fouls now between these teams.
I tell you what, you take away the hunger of, we talked about Peter Wilson being hungry. We've talked about Liam McKinnon on Orange County side being hungry. One of the hungriest players I've seen trying to score a goal today is actually the left center back for Oakland, Julian Bravo. He has been up and involved in every single set piece.
Advantage played here for Orange County. Trying to muscle their way through. Several blue shirts hitting the deck. Oakland back on it. And this is Jurgen Dahm. Now an injury stoppage whistled for from Alyssa Nichols. It is the young Pedro Guimaraes down, holding his head, and that's not a welcome sign if you're Orange County.
And he does so well to invert himself right here and just continue his run. McKinnon's trying to evade pressure, and it's just that 50-50 challenge in there with Julian Bravo.
This injury timeout is brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross. Anthem is transforming healthcare by improving the health of our local communities. Guimaraes down in a heap, was holding his head, also grabbing that lower part of his right leg as the training staff continuing to work on him. Just 17 years old, made 3 appearances in this most recent FIFA window at the U17 FIFA qualifiers. Actually had a goal in that 22-goal outing for the United States Youth national team. Such a valuable opportunity for the 17-year-old. You're somebody with youth international caps under your belt previously. How special of an opportunity is that?
It is really special, and it's friendships and bonds that it's very unique, because going in and out of camp is a very tough thing, especially as a young professional. because your roles change within every team, and oftentimes at the national team level, they can change within every camp, right? Where you're such an important player, such a role player on your club team, you could potentially have to play a bench or a substitute position on the national team, and vice versa. Positions are different. Obviously, coaching philosophies are different. And while it is so special, and obviously he is happy to be a part of it, it is a really difficult thing to balance, those different ideas, those different philosophies, and the different goals coming in and out camps.
Guimarães able to walk off under his own power and able to race back out onto the pitch to rejoin his team. Meanwhile, Wolfgang Prentice shown yellow for the foul that sent Guimarães down. Here's Jürgen Dahm. A collision on the aerial duel. Now Dahm is down.
Just a tough aerial challenge. Partida goes up looking like the elbow to the back of Dahm's head. That was a tough challenge. Surprised we won't be having trainers come on.
Initially, Alyssa Nichols had made the signal for the training staff to come on, but Jürgen Dahm stepped up immediately and gave them the motion to stay back on their side of things.
Make him go off if he never saw treatment.
Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Your ticket to great seats. Sinisterra trying to help that one on out wide, and instead intercepted and won back by Guimarães and company. Up ahead, out of the reach of Jürgen Dahm, and out for a goal kick. All the talk about seating and SeatGeek. Marion, you do a lot of traveling for USL. You cover this league at all levels. What's your favorite locale around USL?
Oh my gosh, I can't even answer that. How am I supposed to answer that without getting into trouble? You are just asking for me to get into trouble if I answer that.
A foot race here, won by Jamison. Lunging header away from danger. Hey, nobody said this broadcast was going to be easy. I'm putting you on the spot here, okay?
Hey, look, I will say it was a very fun time to be in San Antonio with the Final Four. Almost seemed like a totally different life over there. Everybody and anyone up there at the Final Four, and to see a football arena get transformed into a basketball court. We actually had a chance while we were there to go into one of the games, and seeing that transformation was very cool, but also very strange. I felt like I was in a bit of another planet.
I remember as a child, my father and I had a chance to go see the Elite Eight in St. Louis at the former Edward Jones Dome, now the Dome at America's Center with the Rams gone from St. Louis. And I had the same takeaway. I remember being fascinated.
Like, this is so cool,
the curtain divides it and everything.
The fourth official has indicated that there will be a minimum of 5 minutes.
5 minutes of added time here at the end of this first 45 minutes between Oakland and Orange County. Orange County looking for a response here late in this first half. No options going forward. Back they go. Marion, if you're Orange County SC, what hasn't worked offensively in this first half?
I think you're seeing spells of the way that they can break you down as a team. Ultimately, you haven't been technically good enough, technically clean enough. They're going to need to clean that up in the second half. But right now that they've been moving Oakland laterally in possession, and they want to do that to be able to find isolation for the wingers. However, with as low of a block as Oakland has been playing in, it's going to call for a bit bit more verticality from Orange County in the build-up.
5 getting back quickly for Oakland. Defensive recovery for the Roots. Orange County twisting the screws, and that ball left a little wanting over the top, out for a goal kick. It's just been right there, inches away. We've seen them have a couple good crosses to that back post, but a little high, a little long, and it just hasn't been able to be put all the way together.
When you can figure out a way to get players to execute that final pass, that final action, you write a book, and I guarantee you make millions of dollars. That is the age-old question. That's the biggest struggle, especially early on in a season for managers, is oftentimes that final act in the final third of the field.
I was a straight-A student in English class, but I'm not sure anybody would want to read a book.
Surprised?
I love writing, as you can see by all my boards here.
Did you have perfect attendance too?
Oh, no, no.
Okay, because you seem like that type.
No.
Like a 3-time perfect attendance award. That's
no,
what I see.
I was fortunate in college that the journalism school I went to, they believed in the idea of you got to go do it instead of sit in a classroom. So I got to go out and cover athletics, cover news stories, what have you, and not have to sit.
Field trip every day, baby.
Yes, exactly. It's the best way you learn, right? By doing it, hands-on experience. Another corner for Oakland Roots here in the waning minutes of this first 45. Njai, in swinger. A short clearance from Orange County. It does go out for a throw. Oakland with 5 corners, 1 in this first half. Give and go on the outside. Wilson was taken down, and now we have another whistle. And this will be more. A quick yellow will come out of the pocket of Alyssa Nichols. Second booking of the first half.
Yellow card issued to Oakland Roots number 15. Nabil Hackshaw, card issued in stoppage time.
Nabil Hackshaw, the former Indy 11 man, shown yellow. Second yellow shown to an Oakland player. Such a journeyman as Nabil Hackshaw. Also spent time with Charleston Battery as well. Another season here with Oakland. Here comes Orange County, as Hackshaw will head it away. There's Dogman. We'll roll this up the near touchline and out of the reach before it goes rolling across the end line. There is a whistle from Alyssa Nichols, and Gavin Glinton now shown a yellow for Oakland. Glinton pleading his case with Andrew Hawks, the fourth official.
The yellow card has been issued to the Oakland Roots sidelines.
Officially, Gavin Glinton given a yellow, and he's not thrilled about it. Nonetheless, we play on. Here's Silla. Dogman now. They were looking for that give and go back to Dogman, and there is the whistle from Alyssa Nichols. Halftime has been reached in Oakland, California. Marion, your thoughts on the first half?
Obviously, a tremendous start for this Oakland Root side. I think they've been very smart with their defensive pressure, recognizing key moments to push while still having quality shape behind them. And that's ultimately mitigated the transitional ability of Orange County. And on the flip side, Danny Stone and company, Oakland is giving you the space in front, right? They're giving you time on the ball, clogging the central channels. How can you continue to push the rotation, force some miscommunication from this Oakland Roots back line, and ultimately execute just a hair better in the final third? Because as we've seen, there have been moments of promise for this Orange County side.
Oakland Roots take a 2-0 lead into the halftime break. Goals from Wolfgang Prentice and Peter Wilson, the difference makers so far. Gavin Glinton pulling all the right strings for the Roots at home. We'll head to break. Halftime when we return to California. Back inside the Oakland Coliseum, it's 2-0 at the half. Oakland Roots on top of Orange County SC. Plenty of action around USL League One and USL Championships. Let's take a look at the goals and saves of the week from the past week in League One and Championship. We'll head back to break. Halftime rolls on in Oakland, California. When we return, the home side on top, 2-0 through 45 minutes of play.
The second longest tenured coach in the league, Tommy Sohn, is out in Birmingham. Robbie Nielsen, surprisingly, out in Tampa Bay.
Eric Avila named the interim for the Birmingham Legion. Gets a win on the weekend, but what does the identity of this team look like? Tampa Bay Rowdies, simple, results-driven business. 4 wins in their last 20 matches in all competitions. And how about some cup sets? Open Club glory awaits.
It's halftime in Oakland, California. A lot to cheer about if you're an Oakland Roots fan. Through 45 minutes of play, Oakland doubling up Orange County SC 2-0. Along with Marion Crowder, I'm Jake Griffith. A look at news and notes from around the USL Championship, the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup. They just had their next round draw. 12 USL Championship clubs advancing to the round of 32. MLS sides will come into play in this round. 7 of them will go on the road to play USL Championship teams.
Everybody loves the Open Cup, and look, I hate to say it, but neither Orange County nor Oakland are in it. They could have been, no doubt about it, but you've got to love what some of the League One clubs have been offering up as well. And then obviously, as the Open Cup action continues on, the USL continues to grow. Buffalo, New York announcing the club's new 7,400 capacity stadium, already receiving 1,000 ticket deposits. That's insane.
That's absolutely incredible. And don't sleep on Buffalo as a good soccer market as well. Buffalo, the college in the Mid-American Conference, their women's soccer team clicking. They always have a good program up there. And then lastly, the USL Jägermeister Cup will get going next week. A shot at glory in the USL 1 and USL Championship. What are you looking for in that Jägermeister Cup?
I'm excited with the revamp of this season, obviously including the championship teams, and I think it just gives everybody that much more pride when they're going into this USL Jägermeister Cup.
Look at scores from around USL Championship. Out of town scores. Right now, Detroit City doubling up Rhode Island FC, Hartford and Birmingham Legion, deadlock 0-0. Sacramento Republic up over Phoenix Rising at the half, and then Loudoun United and Pittsburgh. That's a big matchup everybody's looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, look, we've got some action in Rhode Island. Not only is Detroit City up 2-0, but Frank Nadarse with the red card in the 6th minute. So Rhode Island going to have to do this one by way of grit if they want to come back.
Out of town scores brought to you by Visit Oakland. Get out on the town and visit Oakland to explore arts, culture, and world-class cuisine. Busy day here in match day 7 around USL Championship. Talk about a big match between Loudoun and Charleston Battery. How about Tampa Bay Rowdies, Lou City? That gets going at 4:30 Pacific time. We'll end the night out in Vegas with Las Vegas Lights, FC Tulsa. Some big matches around this USL Championship. And now a look at the upcoming schedule for Oakland Roots. They'll go on the road and take on Spokane Velocity, then return home to take on Sacramento Republic as they'll resume USL Championship play. That match with Spokane, part of that USL Jägermeister Cup. Spokane, a team catching some eyes in USL League One.
Yeah, they are, not only on the men's side, but on the women's side as well, USL Super League. But look, I think that this is a very tough but very doable stretch for this Oakland Roots side. If they can continue with the consistency of the first half performance, close this match out with a full 90, they'll be able to welcome this tougher but doable stretch with a bit more confidence.
We'll head back to break from Oakland. Second half coming soon, 2-0 through 45 minutes of play. Roots on top of Orange County SC.
A dazzling goal for 20,000 to witness a jubilation.
Today we went to the beach and it was totally worth it. Stay 2 nights, get a $50 Best Western gift card.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. Pound of wood a day. Pound of wood a day.
pound of wood a day.
What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
It turns out Oakland sports fans won't have to wait long to catch another game at the Oakland Coliseum.
Today's match is brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross. First half highlights for you between Orange County SC and Oakland Roots and Marion. It's all Oakland at the half.
Yeah, they have been so smart with their defensive pressure. Their defensive work rate is ultimately what gave way to this first goal. Wolfgang Prentice, his 4th on the season in just the 10th minute. We've talked about Oakland a lot. How are they going to continue getting themselves out of the rut to start the 2025 campaign? And a goal in the 10th minute at home in front of your fans is going to do just that. But they weren't done there. The 31st minute, again, aggressive line breaking. They did so well to win this ball in a dangerous part of the field, and then it was just patience. Patience from Dom on the recycled run. He picks out his runner, and Peter Wilson, hungry, determined to be a contributor for this team, gets on the board to make it 2-0.
Peter Wilson, a big acquisition in the offseason for Oakland Roots, and he gets his first goal of 2025. Look at how the stats break down through 45 minutes of play. Possession slanting heavily in favor of Orange County SC, but they haven't been able to do much with it.
Exactly. What's the point of possession if it's not purposeful? And we've seen moments where we can see the isolation that they're trying to engage in, but it's going to have to be a bit more probing, because as we've seen with this Oakland side, they are very content with having the ball be put in front of them. Can you now test their athleticism of the back line and see if you can't find Liam McKinnon and Williams on the wing?
Oakland holding Orange County to just 4 shots in that first half. That is a big change from their contest against FC Tulsa, where they allowed 21 shots against FC Tulsa. Oakland and Orange County all set to start the second half here in the historic Oakland Coliseum. Alyssa Nichols sounds the whistle, and we are back underway for the second half between Oakland and Orange County. Usman Silla quickly wins it back for Orange County on the attack. Again, though, a wasted long ball forward. Two goals from 2 different goal scorers for Oakland Roots, and now they want more. It fell to Prentice. Tried to take on one too many defenders. Cameron Dunbar, a change made by Danny Stone at the halftime break. He's on, comes out Liam McKinnon. Chris Hager as well. 2 changes here into this second 45 for Danny Stone and company. Trying to just mix things up and breathe some new life into Orange County's attack.
There's no 50 in soccer.
Back on it is Wolfgang Prentice now. Dunbar wanted to cut inside, muscled off the ball by Njai. Here's Kai Green. Turned over by Oakland Roots. Pouncing on it now is Orange County SC. This is their bread and butter, transitioning defense to offense for Danny Stone's group. Dunbar through the middle, left that pass flat, and it's cleared away. Flanked by Dunbar, but it was knocked away from him, and now Orange County will commit the foul on the other side. The passing was accurate in that first half for Orange County. That's not necessarily the issue, completing north of 85%, but took just 120 passes inside the opposition half of things. Didn't spend a lot of time with real teeth to their attack in that first half.
Yeah, and really the only time that they weren't accurate were moments in the back, right? One of them leading to the first goal for Oakland.
Rolled in behind here, it's Wilson now. He'll cut this back to the byline, centers it, cleared out, another corner one.
And Oakland has done so well to just force perimeter action. Kyle Scott, central player, having to do all the work to come back there and defend in that half space.
Sinistera over it. Out swinging ball in the thick of it, headed high and over the bar.
An out-swinging delivery right into the numbers. And who is it again? I'm telling you, Julian Bravo, center back. He wants to score today. Absolutely love that.
Bravo, former Crown Legacy man, also played for Timbers too, comes over in the offseason from the Charlotte FC affiliate of MLS Next Pro. And you're right, he has been active, making his 5th appearance of 2025.
I like what he can bring to this Oakland Root side, especially as he and Neville Hackshaw get a bit more acquainted with each other. He's young, obviously, in the professional ranks, but he's very familiar with the professional ranks. And I think that once he and Neville get on the same page, this is going to be a really interesting center back pairing to watch.
Back to the outside. It falls back to Silla now. Tries to sidestep one, hacked away again by Wolfgang Prentice. All the way back down to Colin Shuttler, former Virginia Cavalier. We talked about Clemson in the first half. Good college soccer programs on the men's side.
Shout out to Mike Noonan.
Mike Noonan. George Gelnevach
at
Virginia.
There you go.
An institution is George Gelnevach. 20 seasons deep at UVA.
Legend. Absolute just icon.
It's not just about players either, as Wolfgang Prentice tries to sidestep a challenge and goes down. Also, Bruce Arena won 2 national championships as the head coach of University of Virginia. Heavy challenge applied. Well, we saw a lot of whistles in the first half, but Alyssa Nichols, although we have a whistle there, starting to let them play a bit in the second half.
And this is as a head referee where you have to really make sure that things don't start happening out of frustration, right? You saw that little side kick right there. That was absolutely out of frustration. Luckily, no contact was made, because that was going to be, if contact made, that's always going to be a question for the back pocket.
Scott lobs this one up ahead. Jamison will run it down. The underlapping run, lifted in the middle. Now inside the area, it's Gumarais. Dunbar wanted to center it. It's cleared out, and Orange County will have a corner. Corners have been the calling card for Oakland in this contest, but now Orange County with just their second, as Usman Silla will take it. Silla drives it in. Now Oakland trying to break out from their back line.
Orange County's going to have to find a way to get some of this rhythm back, some of this tempo back. Obviously, Kyle Scott feels like that. He's having to drop all the way into the back line to get the ball and start the attack in the first phase of possession.
Chris Hagert goes down, pleading for more than just a whistle.
And Hagert's insertion into the second half tells me that Danny Stone feels that there is a midfield battle that needs to be won, right? That was not a like-for-like change with Hagert and with Jamison, who he came in for. Jamison obviously going to be more of your front attacking player. Hagert going to be more of a central midfielder who can help control some of the pace of this game.
Here's Oakland roots now, moving in packs. That midfield stripe has at times been that line of demarcation for Oakland. They have done a good job of controlling the tempo of this match through dominance in the midfield. Playing more to what you were saying about the midfield battle. One back, though, by Sinisterra. And Shuttler will race out and pick that up. Advantage played for Orange County. Here's Hagert, flanked out wide by Dunbar now. Dunbar cuts to his left. Dunbar has a go of it and sends it into the stands.
And that was a prime example of what Danny Stone was seeing in the first half, and how there wasn't a lot of space to play in behind, just given how low the block of Oakland was. But with the insertion of Chris Hagert, what it did actually was force Julian Bravo to step to him in that pocket of space. That ultimately is what created the isolation on the wing. Shot sailed wide, but it's better movement, it's better shape shifting already in the second half from Orange County. And a lot of that is with the insertion of Chris Hagert in the central pockets.
Biaranga was the one who was shown yellow.
Not the nachos. Oh, was that the nachos and the beer? Oh, man.
Not what you want to see. That does not make for a happy day at the ball. In this case, the ballpark.
Yeah.
Literally. Prentice back on it now. Looking to roll it in behind to Sinisterra in an offside position. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM-FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM-FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Dunbar goes down, wincing in pain as he grabs onto that right shoulder. Alyssa Nichols' whistle brings a stoppage to this match.
Oakland Roots, yellow card issued to number 2, Babakar Njai.
Njai shown yellow. That's now 4 yellows issued to Oakland Roots players. Hagart will step over top of it here. Hagart drives that into a crowd, and it's cleared away again by Oakland. Marion, this Orange County team, they've had plenty of set-piece opportunities. They've had corners. They've had the bevy of possession in this contest, but still nothing to show for it on the scoreline. How can they get this offense going?
As jokingly as we were about the Nacho debacle, that was actually the best look in terms of the build-up, right? It ultimately sailed high and wide, nothing for Kendall McIntosh to worry about. But the more Chris Hagart can pop off the back line and into the pockets in front of them, play on the half turn, that's where they're going to end up finding a bit more isolation. So in this particular instance, right, it's lateral, it's waiting for the runs to develop, and then you're going to see, hopefully, Chris Hagart be able to pop right there in that pocket of space.
Here's Hagart now with it. Jamison rolls it ahead. Out comes McIntosh, quick off his line, and that's well read by Oakland's keeper.
Extremely well read, especially for a goalkeeper who hasn't really been tested, right? Oftentimes mentally hard to stay in matches like these. No hesitation off his line, very well done. He doesn't come off his line there, and there are all kinds of blue jerseys at the back stick for Orange County. Potentially a wonderful goal-saving intervention.
2 Orange County players go down. A whistle will bring another stoppage to this.
And you saw in that last sequence, right, how it changed the back five, excuse me, for Oakland. Having Chris Hagart just pop in front of them forces them to now have to deal with him. And then their shape gets out just a little bit, and it's a wonderful moment of realization from the Orange County buildup to find the next man.
Bryce Jamison very displeased with a lack of a whistle. It's a goal kick for Oakland. Immediately smacked the turf. And now having words with Alyssa Nichols. Some frustration starting to boil over for Orange County in this contest, as they just haven't been able to put it together consistently on the offensive side. Sinistero will lay this one off to Wilson. Now Jorgen Dom rolls it back inside. It's Wilson. Dom tries the stutter step, ends up coughing the ball up. Orange County making changes in this second half. As Benjamin Barciolo, the former Atlanta United Academy man, will come on. Ashton Miles as well. Four changes made now for Orange County as they continue to try to put pieces together to figure out this Oakland Roots defense. Danny Stone did admit earlier this week, he said, look, we're still trying to figure out our best 11 going forward throughout the season. Now getting Ashton Miles out there, a guy who now has played in all 6 of Orange County's contests. Barjolo as well, that's a player, a younger player, but they are high on the potential he brings. Stone saying that a lot of athleticism, a lot of speed as well at the forward position. Sinistera rolls it forward. Prentice on it now. Prentice tries to give it up. The unselfish pass to Jorgen Dahm, and it's out for a corner.
There's a reminder, last call for alcohol concession sales. Alcohol will end in the 75th minute. Concession.
That's really well done defensively by Barjolo, the fresh substitute. Look at that track back and the intelligence, knowing that he's in a really precarious position, opens his hip, concedes the corner. A really intelligent play.
This corner kick is powered by Ava Community Energy, and it's now the 6th corner won by Oakland Roots. In swinging ball. And back by Oakland. Here's Biaranga. And back on by Dahm. Ajay still fighting for it. Now he'll give it up out wide. Sinistera. Sinistera plays it back through to Gibson. Sidesteps one challenge. Gibson turns, finds Jorgen Dahm again. Former Indy 11 man Tyler Gibson right now leading the offense. Lifted back up ahead. Gibson will run this down in the far corner. Dahm whips this in. Glancing header away. Silla on it. Silla taken down. Julian Bravo, we've talked a lot about him on the offensive side of things, now finding himself on the wrong end of a whistle there. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Oakland comes up with it again in the midfield, but doing nothing there. Too long of a pass. Scott. Some space on the top side of the attack now. Here comes Orange County again. Again, pass left short, allowed Oakland to really collapse in on it. As good as the passing has been in this match overall, with the 85% completion percentage, it's been some of those short balls too like that they've left a little wanting, that have disrupted buildups.
It's really been the moments of importance, right, where the technical execution has been lacking, the final action, and as we mentioned earlier, some of the poor giveaways in the first half that ultimately put Orange County on the back foot, find themselves chasing the game here.
Cleared away by Oakland in the vicinity of Sinistera. Doesn't have the numbers yet. Sinistera pulls it down. A whistle for a foul will stop things. Both these teams coming off midweek losses or poor results in the U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah.
And one thing we talked about with Gavin Glinton is, does that disrupt the momentum you garner from FC Tulsa? He said no, but for Orange County, are we seeing a bit of that disruption from a poor result in the midweek from momentum they may otherwise have pulled from the win against Sacramento?
I think it's really difficult, just any kind of midweek cup run that you have to have, because not only are you approaching that cup a little bit differently than you are the regular season, you're also perhaps changing lineups, you're changing philosophies. A lot of times you're using that to trial new ideas, and that can be a bit of a disruption from time to time.
Oakland will make a pair of changes as Ilya Alexiev come on for the 5th time this season. Jorgen Dahm will come off. Dahm turning in a solid performance this afternoon, has really made some...
He's been very good on the day.
He has. Made some great decisions for Oakland en route to this 2-0 advantage.
And go back to your question about the Open Cup specifically too. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the physical match that Orange County in particular had to go through as well.
36 fouls
Insane.
in that contest. That's something that came up in one of our calls with the teams earlier this week, and it was double checked with the folks at the US Open Cup. It's a record for physicality. That does also take a toll on a team.
Absolutely, absolutely.
As a player, though, how do you try to shake off that result and get back in the proper frame of mind?
It's all about routine, right? And so much of it is having a realistic talk about priorities. And as much as every single team here will tell you, any cup we're in it to win it, and we are disappointed when we don't win. What the real priority is as a club is your regular season, right? Trying to win the Players' Shield, trying to get into the playoffs, trying to get to the final. And so you have to have that realistic reset of priorities and say, hey, you know what? We didn't do what we wanted to do here, but we are still very much alive in the regular season, and we've got to put our focus there.
Whipped in, headed away. And now headed back on by Orange County. That previous buildup all spurred on by Chris Hagert, who, to your point earlier, has done a good job since coming on. This threaded through and booted out. Smartly conceding the corner is Oakland. One set-piece goal this season for Orange County as Hagert hovers over it. In-swinger from Hagert. Oakland has done a good job of coding these set pieces well defensively this afternoon from Orange County. It's back on to Scott. Up ahead, near side, Dunbar. Dunbar's cross, leaping forward is McIntosh. He's been busier in the second half than he was in the first half, and both reads have been fantastic.
He's really been an impressive and a bright spot for this Oakland Root side, despite some of the struggles that they've had. Really good inline drive, really good service into the run of several Orange County players, and Kendall McIntosh goes up brave, gets it, and not only that, he collects that cleanly, right? Oftentimes goalkeepers in that scenario, they'll punch it away, they'll try to parry it just away from the frame of goal. He goes up, collects it, doesn't bobble it. And in their match against FC Tulsa as well, this Oakland Root side, Kendall McIntosh was fantastic at keeping that scoreline what it was.
Since graduating from Santa Clara, McIntosh has really been all over. Spent last year with San Antonio, former San Jose Quakes Academy man, debuted with Sporting Kansas City in 2022. Also stops with Portland Timbers, Red Bull New York as well. Coaches talk so often about things players do that don't show up in the general box score, right? Saves will show up, goals allowed, things of that nature. But something like that, a decisive claiming of the ball, that's one of those intangibles you really can't teach. Headed back toward McIntosh now, who will sprawl on it. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. Football is free to play. Download now. There was some trouble at the back as it was headed toward Shuttler. Sinistera colliding with him. You see Shuttler there making the motion with the elbow that Sinistera caught him just in that midsection.
Obviously, all players aware who's on a yellow as well. Make no mistake about that. Sinistera playing this game on a yellow card already.
Here's Orange County now. Worked out wide. It's Jamison. Glancing header on from Usman Silla. Dunbar starts and stops. Dunbar stands a cross up, knotted down, but cleared away.
Man, scan the QR code on the board for $10 tickets to our upcoming game against Sacramento Republic FC.
Dunbar has been problematic over here on this right-hand side. Just doing so well to get turned, get faced up against Rasmussen. What I love so much about that is so many players in that instance would just say, hey, I've just got to get this ball into the box. No, he picked out a runner. He knew exactly the timing of his delivery. Feels like the more that they can find him in isolation, the more opportunities this team is going to create.
On the give and go, back out wide. Jamison in behind, cuts to that end line, and it's out for another corner one. 4 corners on the day for Orange County, but 3 of them have come in this second half, starting to show some signs of life as this contest carries to the end. Haggard in swinging ball again. Oakland all over it defensively. And Sinistera will try to break them out from the back. Jolo tried to muscle his way inside, ended up coughing the ball up, and now rolled up ahead to Wolfgang Prentice. It is out for an Orange County throw, and now Prentice goes down.
It was a tremendously smart run from Wolfgang Prentice right across the back line. You see him grab the back of his right leg after that play.
Prentice, one of the 2 goal scorers for Oakland Roots today, also has a yellow card, as there is a whistle from Alyssa Nichols. In hockey, they have what's called the Gordie Howe hat trick. It's a goal.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's a goal, an assist, and a fight. In soccer, would it be a goal, assist, and a yellow? Because if so, Wolfgang Prentice is just an assist away from the soccer equivalent of the Gordie Howe hat trick, as that will go out for an Oakland corner.
A fight? That's insane.
Yeah. And
do people like covet that in hockey? Like, do that, you know, like baseball players, they want to hit for the cycle. Like,
right.
is that very much something that hockey players want to do?
I don't know if they covet it per se, but it's a cool little thing to, it's a feather in your cap, right?
Good for you.
Oakland with another corner, they're 7th, and now the whistle from Alyssa Nichols will wash it out. Of course, Gordie Howe famously comes from the era where they didn't wear caps on the ice, helmetless.
They were just psychotic.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
Of course, that was also back in the day where the glass was about comes up to your kneecaps, and people could smoke indoors, and very different
times.
Very different era of professional sports.
Some would say the glory days.
Some would. Some would. Oakland will retry this corner. Outswinging ball, headed toward goal, and Shuttler. Quick reflexes to grab that. Now here comes Orange County, threaded ahead. It's Jamison. Crosses it through the middle, touch taken, rolled toward the near post, and just trickling wide. Just one big scoring chance today for Orange County, but very nearly that time, Marion, finding their first goal.
It feels like they're knocking on the door. And right now for Oakland, a lot of it's going to be a mentality piece, right? How much can you bend before you break? And what a day for Wolfgang Prentice. Why don't we take a look at what he has done to help this team? The 10th minute, getting up there with Peter Wilson side by side. Those two have already had such an incredible connection. It only continues to grow. Peter Wilson doing the hard work, and Wolfgang Prentice. We've come accustomed to saying right place, right time, right finish, and he has continued to embody that. 4th goal on the season.
Prentice fitting right in here in Oakland. His 4th goal of 2025, former LA Galaxy Academy man and Cal State Northridge product. He comes off as Panos Armenakis will come on for the first time. Also Danny Gomez, a late change for Oakland, and Gavin Glinton. Flub clearance from the defender. Jamison had it for a moment and now cleared back away as Scott will keep the possession on for Orange County. Whip to the outside. Again, Oakland on it. They'll head it away from danger. Here comes Oakland Roots. Worked outside, now rolled through the middle, centered, and a stop made again by Shuttler. Wilson had his mind on a brace, and Colin Shuttler says no.
That was really well done by Shuttler. A lot of traffic. Saw that one clearly.
The build-up that time set up by Danny Gomez, the second half substitute. And Gomez for Oakland, he's such a proof of concept of what they try to do at the developmental level. Gomez coming through the 5-1-0, the Project 5-1-0 Academy side of this Oakland Roots team. He's the first to go through it and then work his way up to the USL Championship side of the Oakland Roots. Did so back in 2022 and has now become a permanent fixture with Oakland and Gavin Glinton.
And he's going to play a bit more of a defensive role in this match, obviously coming in for Sinistera, who is more attacking minded. Gavin Glinton trying to shore the 3 points up here.
Whip to the outside again for Orange County. Starting to plant their flag in this end of things in this second half. Dogman tries to turn away from pressure, turns into it. Knocked across the end line, another corner.
And look at that run on the near post. That was from Armenakis. That run to the near post is ultimately what opened up the shot window. Again, very well read from Shuttler.
Silla swings it in, headed away. Falls back to Dogman, touched wide of goal. A very dangerous hit from distance for Dogman.
Well, services into the area haven't been working. Oakland's winning all of them, so why not have a go from distance? I love that timing from Dogman. Gets fully through it. You saw the way that he angled his hips just a bit to be able to have a bit more power, a bit more pace. Just tried to drive that one through side netting.
Oakland will make a change. The 6'4" Gaji Margvelashvili will come on. Vuk Latinovic also on for Orange County. The aforementioned Margvelashvili from Georgia, the country, not the state, so not a Georgia Bulldog.
I feel like he would share my sentiment. If I just hit him with the Go Dogs, he'd be like, absolutely.
He would know. It's universal language.
Right. Another defensive substitution, though, from Gavin Glinton's group. Gagi, obviously, a veteran defender. He's got all players in now who know how to close out a game.
Up ahead, looking for Jamison again, and again, smartly just cleared out to take the pressure off. Does concede the corner, and Silla will trot over for it.
And the mentality now has to change for Orange County, right? When you haven't been creating that quality of opportunities in the run of play, your focus has to be on making these set pieces worth it.
Here's Silla, centers it, it's deflected. Second effort, leaking through, cleared away from goal. Set it in the first half, but bend, but don't break, the mentality for Oakland Roots. And now here they come on the counter. They draw a foul for their efforts.
How well done was that by Panos Armanakis? Here's a moment. Usman Silla does so well, does everything right, driving to the inline. The runs are there, but too much traffic. Love the commitment from Oakland. And then on the flip side, Panos Armanakis finds himself as the outlet and earns a free kick in his way.
That free kick taken. Underneath it is Rasmussen. Rasmussen service headed away again as it falls to Silla. You mentioned something a minute ago, bringing substitutes on for Gavin Glinton, closing out matches. That was something that he felt like they did not do a good job of against Tacoma Defiance, giving up 2 goals across the 115th minute to lose as Rasmussen rolls it central. Another straightaway save from Shuttler. As busy as he was in the first half, he's been even busier, and it's Danny Gomez with the shot. Nudged out wide to Benalcazar. Benalcazar touched inside. It's Dunbar. His cross. Dangerous clearance out. Was batted back toward goal. Out nonetheless. And it's another corner for Orange County.
And that's one as a gaffer. You hold your breath, right? The body positioning not there on the backside for Alexiv. And in that moment, you've got to be able to turn your hips to face outward. Just gets caught in a bad spot.
Second ball serviced in, pinballing around the area, and batted away for another clearance.
The creation of that opportunity last for Orange County, again from Dunbar, getting in line, being willing to drive at players.
Falls back to Dunbar now. Dunbar, back stick. That will go bouncing out. Oakland Roots return on Sunday, May 4th at 4 p.m. at the Oakland Coliseum against Sacramento Republic. Individual tickets are still available, so get them before they sell out. To secure your tickets, visit oaklandrootssc.com/tickets or call 510-488-1144.
You got to start asking yourself questions if you're Orange County, right? Every single time Dunbar has touched the ball on this right-hand side, he has gotten a service out of it. So you have to start reading those cues better as a back post runner for Orange County. Know that he's going to be willing to put his head down. He's going to be willing to either get in line or send an early service to the back post got to be willing to put the run in.
Dunbar's taken 26 touches, completing just about 80% of his passes. He's been effective.
Yeah, very.
The second half substitute is Cameron Dunbar, the Californian. Scott will go forward with it as Dunbar works it ahead. Falls back to Dunbar. Was looking for a handball, won't get it. Now Oakland breaking out. Just a late pass in behind, allowed Orange County to pounce on top of it. Lifted ahead to Jamison now. He'll lay that one off. Hagert shoves it back out wide. Again, a prime example, Marion, of what we've seen time and again. Wasted opportunities if you're Orange County.
As they push for a goal to cut this deficit in half, you have to think about how Danny Stone is going to take this performance, and I think that they're going to be very similar to the call that we had with him, right? Glimpses of what this team can be.
Here comes Oakland now, trying to force the issue. It was Gomez. Couldn't beat that last defender.
We've seen so much of the identity showcased here this afternoon through this Orange County attack, so much of the philosophy instilled in them. It's really just come down to the final execution.
Gomez. He'll lay that one off. Gomez gets it back, edge of the area. Now worked ahead. Wilson shot blocked. Keeping the pressure on is Oakland Roots. Rasmussen, service, deflected away. At times, Oakland has sat in and absorbed a lot of pressure from Orange County, especially in this second half. But man, when Oakland has gone forward, they have done so with a purpose this afternoon. Dunbar gets it back, give and go to Benalcazar. Here's Dunbar, knifing inside. Dunbar cuts this central. A whipped shot from Usman Silla. He'll want that one back.
And that's really been the story for Orange County, right? Idea's good, spacing good, but the final action, again, it's Dunbar. And Usman Silla just gets underneath that one, gets excited about it, and watch how his chest leans back. This is a great angle. You see his chest lean back, you see the ball sail away, kind of skip on the first touch, and that really has felt like the all-encompassing example, as well as this for Orange County.
Trouble at the back here. Oakland with it now. Still sidestepping challenges. Armanakis. Saw some of that pop up in the first half. Issues along the back for Orange County. It directly resulted in a goal for Oakland. Orange County should be thankful to have not given one up there with the 2-on-1 numbers advantage. Out for an Oakland throw. We talked about Gavin Glinton, as there will be 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this contest. We talked about Gavin Glinton's message about stripping everything back from what they've done so far this year and focusing just on the principles. And that really breathed new life into them against FC Tulsa. And now we're seeing, Marion, in this contest, they've been able to take that confidence from the FC Tulsa match, and they've slowly, as this game has gone on, incorporated new facets, building on almost a new identity that Gavin Glinton has set forward for them.
Couldn't agree more. I think that what we've seen for this team is ultimately an almost perfectly executed game plan. And that game plan coming into this one was different than their approach at FC Tulsa. Gavin Glinton asked a bit of different ideas from them. They wanted to make sure rest defense was there. It has been. The shape has been incredible in and out of possession. They wanted to make sure that they mitigated the transitional moments. That's been there. They've wanted to be able to go quickly and break lines of pressure, and we've seen them do that in multiple ways, not only a bit route one, but also around the perimeter.
There's Rasmussen, tries to cut it in the middle, left his pass short.
But ultimately, I think the most all-encompassing thing that all of those ideas have to make it meaningful is mentality. And that, for me, was the consistency piece I wanted to see from this Oakland Roots side after such a solid performance against FC Tulsa. So not only have all of those ideas been there, the game plan executed that Gavin Glinton put in front of them, but the mentality has been there to match as well.
Worked ahead, here's Jamison again. Then Alcazar will give it up. For Orange County, conversely, a bit of a disappointing, I should say, performance here against Oakland, unable to capitalize on that win against Sacramento Republic. Consistency, much like Oakland, was a theme for this Orange County coaching staff, and they just haven't shown enough of it today. As Dunbar has it now in the wide space, gives it up. Back ahead, Benalcazar. Benalcazar's cross falling through, cleared away again. Dogman dots a ball high, and that will go rolling out across the end line. All smiles if you're Oakland Roots supporters and the team. A huge 3 points set to be picked up by Gavin Glinton's side. This is the type of performance, Marion, that can really help turn a season around, much like what we saw against FC Tulsa.
Yeah, it's going to end up, if this continues, it'll end up being the catalyst, right, where we said, hey, no more, right, let's strip it all away, let's go back to the basics, let's find us. And these, assuming the positivity continues for Oakland, these would be the two matches where you point to and say, that's when it happened.
The whistle sounds from Alyssa Nichols. Full time in Oakland, California. What a day it is for the home side. A 2-0 win against their in-state foes. A clean sheet to boot with it too. Marion, your overall thoughts on this performance?
Danny Stone's not going to be pleased with the performance, right? Although the identity was there in moments, the glimpses were there in moments, the areas of the field where it mattered most, they were at their poorest. Defensive third, not clean enough on the ball. Attacking third, not clean enough in the final action. But ultimately, if you're Gavin Glinton, you have to be relieved that you are now seeing a consistent starting 11, and you're now seeing a consistent identity start to shine through your group.
This clean sheet brought to you by Family Laundry. Family Laundry is an Oakland-based business servicing commercial and residential customers with pickup and delivery laundry services throughout the Bay Area. Well, Oakland Roots, they delivered on this match day Saturday. Our Modelo fighter of the match, Peter Wilson. Marion, he finally gets on the score sheet in 2025.
We talked about how he was determined and hungry to contribute more for this group, and we've seen him do it on the defensive side of the ball. We've seen him do it as a setup player for others, and today we got to see him do both, right? The assist on the first goal to Wolfgang Prentice. He gets his own to make this game 2-0. An excellent performance from Peter Wilson.
Roots fans flying the flag for the first time since July 27th through August 10th of last year. The Roots have won back-to-back contests. Thank you for joining us this evening. Oakland Roots and Bart want to make sure you get home safe. Visit bart.gov anthem.com/planner to plan your trip.
Eating a balanced diet and being physically active are two of the most important things you can do to be healthy at any age. Fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins can help control your weight and prevent heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Regular exercise can help boost your mood, digestion, and sleep. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Oakland Roots encourage you to eat right and get active. For additional healthy tips, come visit us at oaklandrootssc.com/anthem.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. It doesn't just have great bones. It was the backbone of your community. So you breathe in new life, grinding away to make space for tomorrow, for your people. This isn't just a restoration. It's a revival. Because you're always willing to double down on your neighborhood. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
A dazzling goal for 20,000 to witness in jubilation.
Goals all around for Oakland Roots on this Saturday. Marion, an impressive performance for Gavin Glinton's team.
Absolutely, and goals are fun, especially when you're at home and when the goal scorers are actually doing their jobs. It always makes you feel good as a head coach. Wolfgang Prentice getting his 4th goal on the season in just the 10th minute by way of hard work from Peter Wilson and ultimately poor turnovers by Orange County. And that was not going to be the end of it. In the 31st minute, we'll take you to the 2nd goal in this 2-0 victory. Another defensive effort performance from this Oakland Roots side that ultimately gets them the 2nd goal. It's Sinister on the left-hand side, the recycled run to Dom, the patience, the poise, the precision, and it's in the back of the net for 2.
2 goals and 3 points on this Saturday afternoon for Gavin Glinton's team. All smiles, all celebrations as we look at our full-time stats. As we mentioned during the halftime break, yes, possession slanting heavily in favor of Orange County, but it doesn't matter if you don't do anything with it, and they didn't do enough with their possession today.
Yeah, Danny Stone is not going to be pleased with the execution of his group on either the defensive third or the final third. Ultimately, we know this is a group of very skilled players, very talented players on the ball. They're going to have to find ways to be a bit hungrier in their own 18-yard box to make that possession number mean something.
Another entertaining chapter of this long-standing rivalry between Orange County SC and Oakland Roots SC. Oakland victorious in match day 7. They improve to 2-4-1. What a day for Gavin Glinton's team. A 2-0 victory here in the Oakland Coliseum for Marion Crowder. I'm Jake Griffith. Thank you for joining us this evening. Oakland Roots and BART. Want to make sure you get home. Visit bart.gov/planner to plan your trip.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.